might notice we have the same shirt on from our last video, but that's because this is the same day, in case it was hard to figure out. But yeah, but when we was having the last conversation, I noticed like what we was talking about kept on switching back to like God and all that stuff. So it's like we might as well do a follow-up video on that. And what should we talk about?
I want to talk about religion as a whole.
Alright.
Not just, this one may get a little controversial, but it's not really that controversial because I'm not just talking about Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. I'm talking about religion.
Yeah, just religion in general. Like it's almost flawed. Like it's very flawed. Like almost, a lot of people don't get like almost every religion out there nowadays is almost basically the same thing.
It is the same thing.
The reason why I can't follow any religion is because all of them are flawed. Like it doesn't make sense of what every single one does not make any sense at all. So like. Is this? I'm not trying to say God doesn't exist, but the version of God that every religion gives cannot possibly exist.
It cannot be real.
Or if it is real, it wouldn't be a God that should I would want to follow. Yeah, it wouldn't be a God I want to worship. So there probably is most definitely there is a God. There's some type of
beyond our understanding.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
beyond our understanding. That's the most important part.
A God that created life, universes, and all that. There's no possible way human beings should be able to fathom the system that he works on. Like you be good, blah 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 blah, and you go to hell and blah blah. There's no possible way a human being will be able to understand what he's doing. Like this is the great. I've had this conversation with my father before, and he kept on asking me about like why I was an atheist. I'm not really an atheist because I think like atheists don't believe in God. I believe in a God. I just don't think we know what the God is. I don't believe in a religious system. But like, yeah, the example I gave him was like, if you have a pet dog and you give that dog a can of dog food, there's no possible way that dog could fathom where that can of dog food came from. Like this can of dog food was created in a giant factory where the cans are moving like here to here to here, and there's a machine pouring food in each can. There's no possible way that dog is going to be able to fathom that because he hasn't been out of the realm of like living where you live. He cannot possibly understand that. So there's no way a religious person can understand the system of God created us out of blah 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 blah. Those are all too human-like.
Especially the part when they start talking about his wrath, his vengeance,
God's wrath and all God's vengeance and all that stuff. That's ridiculous way too human-like. Like someone that creates universes and planets
would not come down to that level and be that petty.
They can't be that human-like. Yeah, you can't, because if it is that just means that's a person with power. That isn't a God. That's just somebody that's stronger than you. But sooner or later,
you're gonna be
relating to that other conversation. If that's what a God is, you're sooner or later gonna catch up to it. So, but yeah, how do we start this? Oh yeah, the flaws in religion.
First of all, every religion makes the same mistake of basically like there's something. I'm gonna make a little joke here. Religions fight over who has the better imaginary friend. That's something I see, and yeah, that is what they do. It's because none of you know if you're right or wrong, but then you get into major fights about it.
Especially back in the past when they had like wars about this thing, man. I'm like, you honestly don't know if you're right or wrong,
and you're killing people off of it. Like that is ridiculous.
That's another sad thing too. Like a lot of people that are like very religious, it comes straight down from their family, like from their father or mother, and then straight to them. Like they think like what they're thinking is from like they're thinking about that thing, but no, it's what your parents did. And the sad part is if you keep going back in line, like back in the day, like if you're African and you're like so religious, like there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying like you gotta understand how that religion got to your culture. Like somebody did
Africans weren't always Christians.
Yeah, Africans weren't always Christians, man. Like,
no, that for sure.
There was a big war that happened that spread that through your country or your culture. But all right, let me talk about this whole going to hell or going to heaven thing.
If it is true, everybody's going down.
Yeah, that's probably true. If it's true, everybody's going to hell or everybody's going to heaven. But not even that. It's like it's hard to explain. Like that whole going to hell thing, like that system doesn't make any sense at all.
This is how it works in most religions. You live a good life, you go to heaven.
Almost every religion. What I think is like people that created. And if your religion has some type of hell or heaven, or some type of afterlife, I think people back in the past created that to feel safe.
It's a yes, it's a cushion.
Yeah, it's a cushion. Because like, try to imagine if you died and nothing happened. The thought of nothing happening, like life being the way it was before you was born. Like imagine what life was before you was born. Nothing. You're not
that is
thinking
a very
at all.
scary thought.
That is scarier than going to hell. Like the thought of just not existing. Like that's a very creepy thought. So like that's a cushion for people. Like you go to hell or heaven. Going to hell is a bad thing, but it's not as scary as just nothing happening. It's like you not existing at all. That would mean like this whole life you just live to die, and that's what scares people the most. And in all reality, it's most likely true. You're just once you die, nothing probably happens.
So people needed religion. They needed something to feel
exactly.
safe.
Like when lightning was cracking like a couple thousand years ago, people thought it was Zeus or something fighting up there in the clouds.
Because they needed that.
They needed something to believe in.
Imagine if it was nothing and like at any time you could just die at all for no reason.
Imagine
you need to believe
if lightning was
reason.
just cracking for no reason and you never knew what was causing it. That's a very creepy thought. I think that's something about humans. That's why humans like learning.
Yeah, because humans do not like to not know.
Humans are scared of not knowing stuff. That's why you're afraid of the dark.
You're afraid of what you cannot see and what you cannot have.
Right, but when you don't know something, it makes you very scared. Like, you notice every time we talk, we start about one topic and then start going somewhere else. Back to this whole why the process of hell and heaven like is very flawed. All right, I was talking to like there's this little pub looking place in our school, and like people walk in and buy stuff, and I was just sitting down and I was talking to all of them about religion and stuff, because they was trying to convince me about Christianity, but this argument isn't just for Christianity; it's for any religion that has a God in the same type of system that Christianity and Islam has their God. So the first thing I asked them was, does God control everything? And what they said was yes.
Of course, they always say yes.
Yeah, they have to say yes, because if they believe it, like they have to admit that that's a God, that's his
Which
power.
always leads them to contradiction.
So yeah, that always. If you're all right, let me give like any like religious fanatic this advice right here. If somebody asks you if God controls everything, say you don't know. Don't say yes, because that's going to lead you to contradict yourself no matter where the conversation goes. You're going to contradict yourself. All right. The next thing I was like, so if God controls everything, I was like, does God also know everything? And then he said yes again.
Of course.
Don't answer yes, religious people. Just say you don't know. That's what I was trying to express to them. Is like at the end of the day, you don't know.
No.
It's not that God exists and that God doesn't exist. It's you don't know. And like, isn't there something in the Bible about being one of the commandments is like
false witness.
Yeah, false witness. And like people are always saying like God did blah 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 blah. You wasn't there. Like is that committing a sin right there? Isn't that false witness? But there we go again. Back to the topic. All right.
This train
is not staying on track. I was like, does God know everything? She said yes. And then I was like, if I had an option between A, B, and C, and I picked B, did God know I was gonna pick B? She said yes. If I picked A, did God know I was gonna pick A? And then she said yes. I said if I pretended like I was gonna pick A and quickly went to C, did God know I was gonna pick C? She said yes. I was like, does that mean I can't trick God? She was like, yes, you can't trick God because it's a God. I was like, so no matter what I was going to do, God knows what option I'm going to pick. And she said yes. And I was like, dang, this is going to be the easiest conversation I ever had with a religious person. Because she actually I kind of like the way she talks to me, because some religious people, once you start talking to them, they just kind of do this,
listen, I don't get that at all. So it's like, you're wrong.
No. You remember that episode of Family Guy with the donkey?
Yeah.
It was like, no.
Yeah. You can never, it's hard to have rational conversations with them.
It's hard to argue with somebody when like
their best answer is just
like,
God.
That can't be proven.
Yeah.
All right. When like their point is something that can't be proven. But back to the point again. All right. So once I got her to agree that no matter what option I picked, God knew I was going to pick it, and there's no way I could surprise him since he knows everything. I was like, okay, just keeping that in mind, like just keep that in your back pocket. I was like, God created each person, right? Like we're born on a certain day, and we're going to die on a certain day. God knows everything, so he has to know what day we're going to be born. He also has to know what day we're going to die. And she said yes. Said keep that in your other pocket. Now I was like, if I walked into this school right now with a gun and shoot every one of you in the face, would I go to hell for that? She said yes. I was like, why? She said, because shooting people is bad. That's against one of the commandments. And then I was like, but would God have known I was going to shoot everybody? She also said yes. I was like, would I still go to hell? She said yes again. I was like, the day when I was born, did God know from that day that I was going to shoot everybody? She said yes. I was like, so that means God created me to shoot everybody. She said no, because I would have had other options. Because she was like, at somewhere in my life, I would have had the choice not to do that. But then I went back, reach in your pocket, pull it out. If God knows what option I'm always going to pick between A, B, and C, he knows I was going to shoot him. I can't trick him, right? So even if he gives me those 3 options to pick, and I pick the wrong one, he knows I was going to do that from the day I was born. So God created me to make that option. And I was like, so do you still think I would go to hell? She said, yes. So I was like, why would God create me just to send me to hell? Like, what type of God would do that? And she was like, what if the God has, she said, what if that was just your purpose? Like, from you shooting all those people, you sent some of them to heaven, even though you're going to hell. So I'm in eternal suffering. It was out of my control, because God controls everything. I'm suffering eternally for something I couldn't control. Because no matter what choice I picked, God knew what I was going to do. He created me to do that. But there's 7 people in heaven, I'm in hell, suffering for the rest of my life for something I couldn't control. Since God controlled me to do that, I couldn't control him. Then she was like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And like, she was like, there's probably somebody out there that could argue with me and tell me the right thing that will make me look stupid. And I was like, that's true, but until I find somebody that could do that, hey, I just got to keep on going with those things. That's the whole point of putting this video on the internet. Comment it. If you could find a reason to tell me why I'm wrong about all those 3 stuff. And if you're a religious person, you have to agree that 1, God knows everything. 2, he controls everything. And 3, you can't trick him. He knows what you're going to do. So if all those are true, and God creates you, he's creating you knowing what your options are. So with somebody that goes around and shoot people in the face, would he die? I mean, would he go to heaven? My bad.
Let's switch to the gigantic contradiction that's just religion itself. Now, almost every Bible, Quran, all that stuff, they are written in contradictions, and I already know why they do that. They do it that way. It's so you can take whatever information you need and just take it home. Interpret it in your own way and create your own moral guidance system. But the problem with that is you end up contradicting yourself for your whole life. Christians do this all the damn time. Talking about Christians are supposed to be like the nicest fucking saints in the world. They're supposed to be religious, all good and hopeful, but then they talk about gay people can't get married.
That part makes sense to me. Like,
that part gets me.
Yeah, I always wondered that, like, it says in the Bible, what's the name? God killed that's why they're against it, because it's saying like God killed some, like it burnt down some whole town or something like
Sodom and Gomorrah,
because they were like practicing gay stuff. If being gay makes somebody happy, if I'm a Christian right now and I see 2 gay people being gay and they're happy, and I go there and stop their happiness, how's that being a good person? I'm stopping them from being happy. That's not a good thing. Like, but who knows, man? Some people are just like gonna believe what they believe. Like,
believe without like no way to change their mind.
That's dangerous, man. Like, I understand, like, ignorance is dangerous, but then like being ignorant, like just being dumb, that kind of sucks. You're dumb. But being dumb and thinking you're smart, that's dangerous. That's gonna get you killed. So like, the main thing about like most religious people is like just get them to agree like I don't know.
That would be the best answer.
That's the best answer for everything. I don't know. Because I'm not saying God doesn't exist. I'm saying I don't know. What I'm saying is the version of God that's everywhere, it can't exist or wouldn't be the type of God that I want to follow.
Exactly.
What you gotta admit is you don't know. There's no way you could possibly like. Human beings are too like arrogant to admit that like they don't know something. Like,
which is why they're always searching for knowledge.
That's why. They're so arrogant to admit they don't know something. Like, how could you possibly think you could fathom a creature that created a whole universe? Like, how could you possibly think you could connect with that thing? Like, I know how your system works. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all.
look, and I do understand like why religion at the down basis of
Yeah.
it. There's a lot of like you already covered the first
yeah.
part about the heaven and hell. The other reason is people need reasons for things to happen. They need something. They need something to be like, oh, this happened because of that.
Yeah.
This happened because of that.
When
At first, it was
life
religion.
Sucks.
Yeah, and when life sucks, you be like, oh, man, eventually God will come save you. You need hope. People need hope, and that's the number one thing. I think maybe like at the beginning when the Bible was written, it may have just been that one guy going like, man, this is a bleak world.
Yeah.
They need something. There's something that has to be believed in.
That's what I think too. I think then that idea just spread it further and further.
And people just found it the way that made them feel the best. So different religions came up. They was like, you know what? I don't like the way that feels. I think this is how things should be.
Dang. I remember Family Guy when they had the little skit about like, hey, you're my friend and I like you. Hey, you're my friend and I like you. And there was like, that's what life was like before religion existed. And then there was like, then religious came and they started fighting each other. What did people used to fight about before religion? But then, they fought about the most. Yeah, they fought about like dumb stuff. I hate this so much. Like, I was talking with my dad, and then he was like, no, let me not even talk about that. This girl was like, but the law, like without religion, like most of the laws that we have in today's society came from religion.
Oh, I know what you're about to go to.
I was like, no, that's not true. Most of the laws we have, like, have you ever thought like maybe religion came from mostly law? Because most of the stuff we have in law, like in the law, are like basic human instincts. Like if I kill your brother, that's a bad thing. Like you don't want somebody to kill your brother. That's why thou should not kill is not in there. And that's why it's a law to not kill somebody. Like every single thing that's in the Bible that they say like, oh, the Bible keeps people safe and all that stuff. Like if the Bible,
morality.
If the Bible didn't exist, people won't have morale. You have morale. You learn it from your parents. Like I understand people aren't born with like sympathy and empathy.
Kids are evil.
Yeah.
Kids
are evil as shit.
Kids do the worst things in the world. Kids don't have the empathy and sympathy. They grow up and learn.
That's what I'm saying. After human beings became smart enough to learn empathy and sympathy, when the first ever humans to be able to comprehend that when he got punched in the face, he was like, dang, this hurts. And then you punch somebody else in the face, I was like, oh, she's hurting too. I don't want to feel this pain anymore. Let me not punch somebody in the face so I don't get punched in the face. That's how you learn. That's why a kid will look at a fat girl and be like, man, you're really fat, until that kid goes to school and the next day and somebody calls him ugly. He's not going to call that fat girl fat anymore because he understands how it feels. But some people struggle with this. It takes some people longer to figure it out. There's some 25-year-old asshole right there going around calling people ugly 24/7. But
yeah. But some people think like it's impossible to gain morals without religion.
Yeah, that was a conversation I had with my father, and he was like, "What's the name? Without the threat of going to hell, people won't be able to stop themselves." I was like, "No, because that's when law comes in. You need law in a society.
Actions need consequences.
Yeah, actions need consequences. That's why." If somebody does something bad, then they go to jail. That's what's gonna prevent somebody from doing something bad. So he was like, no, because then they wouldn't be scared of a higher power that's gonna send them to hell. And then I was like, so you don't think good people existed before Jesus or Muhammad was around? Like everybody was just going around just chopping each other's necks off, like, oh my goodness, like, that was a good one. Good people was around before religion existed. Like, religion did not all of a sudden just put the fear into people's heart, like, dang, I gotta be good now. Like, that doesn't
As long as people were able to feel pain, they were able to understand.
As long as there's a society. As long as there's a society with laws, they were good. Like, you have to have good people. That's what's stopping you, not just some fear of hell. Actually, the fear of hell is, like, so far away, people don't even think about that. Like, if you're about to rob a bank, you're not thinking like, I'm going to go to hell for this. You're thinking I'm going to go to jail for this. You're thinking about the next immediate thing. Like, you're not going to think that far ahead. But that is a long one, man. I don't think anybody's going to watch this whole 20-minute video. Let's cut it short right here.
All right.